The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is the lead federal agency responsible for managing the nation's fish, wildlife, plants, and their habitats for the continuing benefit of the American people. Several agencies in the federal government put our country's conservation laws into action, and the Service's Ecological Services Program helps lead the way. This presentation provides a brief overview of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper. The easiest way to find the Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper is to search for it on Google. Type in the address ecos.fws.gov, then click the search button. That will take you to the ECOS Environmental Conservation Online System website, shown here. The Wildlife and Contaminants Mapper link will be found under the Public Applications area of the ECOS homepage. Locate the Contaminants Mapper from the list and click on the link. If you are a Fish and Wildlife Service employee and have logged into ECOS, you will see a page like this. The link to the mapper is located under the link for ECDMS, the Environmental Contaminants Database Management System. This is the screen view you will see when the Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper opens. The Terms of Service provides information about access, limitations, use, and help links. To access the mapper, you'll need to read and understand the conditions for access and use, then click on the I Accept tab. The map at the site displays the wildlife contaminant data generated by the Analytical Control Facility at the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The exact locations of data may have been altered to minimize collection of wildlife by outside parties. The use of any products or trade, product, industry, or firm names is for informative purposes only and does not constitute an endorsement by the U.S. government or the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Links to non-service websites do not imply any official Fish and Wildlife Service endorsement of the opinions or ideas expressed therein or guarantee the validity of the information provided. Base cartographic information used as part of the Wildlife and Contaminants Mapper has been provided through third-party products. The Fish and Wildlife Service does not maintain and is not responsible for the accuracy or completeness of the base cartographic information. This application may not be fully accessible to people with disabilities. If you need assistance accessing the mapper, contact ECOS Help by using the link provided. For additional information on using this application, you can visit our Mapper Help page. Now, click on the I Accept tab and you will access the mapper. You are now connected to the Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper. Let's start with the navigation basics. I will expand the navigation options menu here on the left so you can more easily see what is being shown. The top three tabs allow you to change screen views. At the top is a tab that looks like an X. Click this once for a full screen view. Click it again to return to the default screen view. These two tabs allow you to zoom into or out of the map. Just like with Google Earth or similar map applications, you can zoom in or out with repeated clicks. The next tab down, which has the small Earth icon, will return the mapper from whatever view it is in to the home screen default setting. The next tab opens a drop-down menu that identifies various map legends, such as refuge interest boundaries. The Streams and Water Bodies link provides a key to stream and water body features and other hydrologic and physical infrastructure information. The National Hydrographic Dataset Watersheds shows various scales of hydrographic or watershed units. Contaminant Distributed Sample Locations provides a color-coded symbol key for individual sample location information and sample types. And Contaminant Clustered Sample Locations are just that, a key to sample types from locations where there are multiple samples. Clicking on the tab with the icon that looks like the letter I will connect you to the mapper's help page. This document contains a wealth of information and is a very useful reference, particularly for a new user. To return to the mapper, you need to close the Help Page tab in your browser. In the lower left corner of the screen is a distance scale in a window that shows the longitude and latitude of your cursor. On the right side of the screen, there are two other tabs. I will enlarge the images so you can see better. Click the top one and this drop-down menu will appear. It allows you to set views or GIS layers, such as the default ESRI satellite map view shown here. In this view, the contaminant sample locations, displayed as clusters, is the default setting. The last tab on the home page is the search link. This opens a menu of options that let you select different filters that will constrain the data to that which you select. This is the sample point filter for species. There are also filters for Analyte, sample matrix, and catalog project refuge data. For more details about filters and how to use them, see the Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper help pages. Now, let's turn our attention to the mapper and the data. In the default map view, the contaminant sample locations are shown in the cluster mode. Within each cluster, such as the one indicated here, is a number representing the sum of sample locations within that cluster. Each individual sample location may have one or several sample records. In this view, we have zoomed in a little so we can take a closer look at what a cluster is. The geographical boundaries of this cluster, shown in blue, are displayed by placing the cursor over it. Doing the same thing with adjacent clusters displays their boundaries. Zooming in on our example sample cluster reveals more detail about sample locations and sample types. As we move in closer to ground level, more details about individual sample sites appear. At this level of resolution, clicking on individual sample sites begins to pull up detailed information. This series of images shows the kinds of information that may be available for specific sample sites, such as the sample collection, sample information, catalog information, and report links. In some instances, catalog data may not be available, or only a partial raw results download is available. If you want to search for specific samples, or only want to display certain sample locations, use the mapper's filter. To do this, select the Filter tab in the upper right side of the map. This will open the Choose Sample Point Filters drop-down menu. A number of filters are available in the menu, such as the Species filter shown here. Species Category allows you to search all samples associated with one or more species categories, for example, birds, fish, snails, flowering plants, and so forth. Species allows you to filter by one or more species names. You can search and select a given species by its common name or scientific name. In this example, birds and bald eagle have been selected. Analyte filters allow you to search for samples associated with a given analyte category, for example, all organochlorides, all elements, and so forth. Analyte allows you to filter for one or more analytes, for example, mercury, selenium, PCB number 209, and many more. Here I have selected organochlorides as our target analyte category. If you have a specific organochloride you wish to search for, enter it in the field for analyte. Sample matrix filters allow you to display all the samples associated with a given matrix category. For example, animal tissue, plant tissue, water, soil and sediment, and so forth. Sample matrix allows you to filter by one or more specific sample matrices, for example, avian egg, liver, plasma, detritus, and others. For our search example, we have selected animal tissue for our matrix category and liver for the sample matrix for our bald eagle search. If you know a catalog number, project ID, or you are looking for data associated with a specific national wildlife refuge, you would enter that information here. The Selected Filters tab allows you to review the filters you have chosen to form the basis of your search. The Clear Filters tab does just that. However, you can also go back to the various categories of filter and add or delete search terms as needed. When you are satisfied with your search parameters, click on the Filter tab. It is possible that your search can result in a message like this. It just means that the results are not in your current mapper view. Click on the link provided in the message, and the mapper will shift to the results automatically. However, for our search example, the results look like this. Let's take a closer look at a sample cluster. As we get closer, individual sample points and multiple sample locations begin to appear. Let's take a look at this result that I have circled. Remember to refer to the Key to the Map features and symbols on the left if you are not sure what you are looking at. In this case, the icon represents an animal sample, which makes sense if we are looking for information about bald eagles. Click on the sample location icon, and sample data is made available. Let's take a closer look at the kind of information provided. The sample collection identifies the number of samples collected, and the matrix is animal tissue from a bald eagle. County and state information, as well as the USGS watershed, are also identified. Sample info provides additional information, including the identification of the sample matrix's liver tissue, and that the sample or samples collected were part of a survey. Catalog info provides the specific catalog number and catalog title, the number of samples, the date the data was submitted, the identification of the person who submitted the data, and the project title. The report links provide access to the complete catalog record, the final report, and the raw results. Let's take a quick look at the information provided through these links. Let's take a look at the complete catalog report. The complete catalog report provides information about who collected the information, when it was collected, site location, sample numbers, sample site coordinates, and additional information. The complete catalog report can be downloaded. If it is available, there is a link to access the final report. In the case of our example, there is a final report from the survey undertaken. It is the Off-Refuge Contaminant Investigation, Liver Contaminants in Bald Eagle Carcasses from Maine, published in December 2011. For the complete data set for all the samples from a location, click on the link for raw lab results. This will link to a downloadable spreadsheet with all of the available data. These files can be quite large, so be aware that these downloads may take a while. And finally, when working with the raw lab results data and other report information, it is helpful to refer to the column definitions. This information, like all the assistance and help available within the website, will make the information contained in the Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper easier to understand and use. And there you have it, a basic overview of the Wildlife and Environmental Contaminants Mapper. For the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, this is Dave Harrelson. Thanks for watching.